All right, guys, let's go ahead and break down this Monday recap here and take a look at some of the price action. And on the weekend recap that we just came through, that we saw here this morning that you watched, we had talked about this price action, and you can see we kind of ran up, which was great, but you did start to depending on what time frame you're looking at, there was some bearish divergence that were created through here. So if we go into this a little bit tighter, you can see that we had from the last 24 hours, we had lower lows here, and we had this high, and then it started to break down. Well, but during that also, that 24 hours, we had this nice run up. So it kind of makes sense that we're getting kind of this pullback. Now you have to be careful, right? Because the last 24 hours, yeah, we're getting this bearish divergence, but how far was this going to play back? Is the bigger question. Now, typically when you see this kind of just continue run up through the weekend and just get this run up, a lot of times you will see what we're looking at right here is just this kind of just transition back. Now, for me, it's just kind of like everything might start to catch up with it. The longer time frames, like we said in the recap for the weekend, was getting a little more bullish on the bigger time frames. Let's go ahead and go into the 15-minute though, and just do our basic price action for the day and how it played out and why we set our levels, right? So you're looking at the last 24 hours here. Let's mark that up real quick and take a look here. You have the bottom here, which is the lowest point in the last 24 hours, and the highest point right up here. Marked them with this lighter yellow color here. I always move that forward for the last 24 hours. We also marked up our key area of support and resistance for the breakout areas for the volume based on the last 24 hours and where energy had sat in the chart. And you can see where those levels are with the purple and the green, and then we marked our 30-minute candle. So now we're all set up for the day. We also have these bigger ranges up here on this red and this blue. This is the support area, and this is your breakout area, which is usually pretty close to typically when you mark the high and the low a lot of times. So for me, when this is going to break out, this would have been a very strong target, possibly in this area. But the one thing I'm really going to point out, and I really want to push home here, and why you didn't see, you might say, well, nothing really happened here. Really, the day started right around the 115,270 range, 50 range, whatever. It went up to about 115,600 range, and it dropped all the way back down to about 114,100, give or take. So not much of a move, right? Maybe $1,000 throughout the day. Now, if you caught the top to the bottom, that would have been a great move, but that's not how you trade. So I am going to mark this out right here. Is everything in here is I'm not going to look at a trade, and the reason why is because here's your 200 and here is your 21. This white line through here. So as we were below this white line all morning long till we finally broke it here at about 11 o'clock. This is where I started to be like, okay, well, maybe we are going to trade up and we're going to go break this upper area and flag out here and make a run for it. So I did get kind of excited in that area. I was looking at this possibly as a breakout area. And then for me, I'd be looking at, right here off this breakout area. And then if I was going to look for a target, I would be saying, okay, well, if we break out, let's be conservative of the breakout area to the low here. And let's see where we can get this breakout to run to. And this was saying we could run up to about 118,000 range. So that would have been the move for the day, and we would have expected this to run up. So once we got above it right here, that was when we could go in and take a look at it. So I'll go ahead and mark it. Now this, for me, I still want to get above. I don't want it to come here, not break through and then fail. So I'm going to go down into my 5-minute. And you can see that I have this marked right here. Now, this is why I'm waiting for the breakout area. If you want a confirmation or a solid move, you want to see it get above this breakout. Now, we are above the 21 and we're above the 200 right here. And I marked it right here in the 15 minutes. So you could say, hey, I'm going to get into this trade if you want to be more aggressive. I'm showing you more of aggressive strategy right here. Now, you could get into this and run this on up to this area. You can see that right when it broke out, it came right back down, and technically that would have been your exit. So you wouldn't have made really anything. You would have got out basically where you got in, depending on where you got in. Now I went ahead and ran up again. This is why I stay away from this kind of stuff, is right here, right? It's just a lot of noise up here. And a lot of people get frustrated because they think it's going to run and it doesn't, and then it starts to break down. And you can't really just jump into short either, because going back out to that 15-minute, you could look at this 5-minute and say, well, I'm going to get in here. But if we go back out to that 15-minute, that's right through here. And what's still down here is this 200. So yeah, this broke down, but any of this area in here, you could see a reversal. So right here could have been a reversal, right? This could have came down, bounced right here, right above this, climbed, and then fired out of here again. It could break down a little bit like it did right through here and go, or it broke down like it did, and now it's already trying to fight back up. So the hard thing is where you get in on the short. Now you could say, well, I'm going to get in on this area. This is still, again, aggressive style trading because it's now below the 21. It's not below the 200, so for me, it's a no-go. But I'm just pointing out possibilities for somebody that wants to trade. You are below the 21 here, but where is your 200, which is that yellow line that we're looking for? Well, it's right through here coming through. So you got below this area, then you got below this area. So yeah, could you have taken a trade on the 5-minute? Yeah, you probably could have looked at this. But like I said, where was this going to go? So right now, yeah, this did trade down and you could have got out, and that would have been a nice little, you probably would have got out somewhere right in here. And that would have been a 1.3 to 1. And that's a nice little trade, yeah. But you also broke, to me, I broke my rules because my 15-minute was telling me you need to get below this area here before you can take that trade. And then really we're looking for this breakdown for solid. And that's what I'm really going to point out here. If we go back and look at price action, what I want to see in all this before I would get in is I would want to see this actually get the close above, and then you had your second close. So this right here is where I'd be looking at taking this trade. We got the close, and I would go into my lower time frame. And what I don't like is you're topped out right here on your stoaches. So what I would like to see, if it was down like this is where I would want to see this back here, right when this was starting to show this sideways price action for this to run up. The way this is already topped out, more than likely it's going to roll over. So even all through here, you can see this is already getting tight together. This is already starting to kind of flatten out way back here. So this 5 minutes telling me it's not a high probability to get in, even though the 15 finally gave me an okay to get in. So if I was going to jump into this right here, this is where I'm going to be getting into this for the long. And I'd be looking at putting this down somewhere in this area. And I'd look for this to run here if I was going to get into that. Now, looking at this, I would have held back and say, hey, can you hold? And maybe after this gets back down here, let's take a look. I'll re-energize when it comes down here. And then obviously now you're back below your 21. So this even though this is down here, it's rejecting this whole area for me. So it's telling me, hey, you're already below the 21. Now you're below the 200. Now this is also saying, hey, we could run here. That's why I would not just go run into this trade like I was showing you earlier. Those are all aggressive style of trading. And it's really because now the 15 minutes not giving me the okay anymore. It broke down. After I watched it on the 5, it started to break down. Once we started to break down, then I go back out to the 15. Well, the 15 has to be below or above these two moving averages. In the middle, it's a no trade. So I would not be taking this. And that's where we're at. So for me, my whole day kept me out of this, really not a lot of price action. And we just didn't have to worry about it today. And now I have capital ready for the next day when we can actually take advantage of trades. Now, I did point out opportunity for you today. So if you wanted to take that and that's how you want to take advantage of the market, you definitely could see how you could trade it. But I also, hopefully, I pointed out where you took a higher risk compared to the guy that just waited, and now he's just going to continue to wait. We'll see how this sets up tonight, whatever you might get the 21 underneath, and then we'll set the current levels tomorrow, and we'll take advantage of what is presented. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for hanging out and watching the recap. Like and subscribe. Ask any questions and comments. Hang out in the channel. You can learn quite a bit there. We're always teaching, adding videos as people do ask questions. So we'll go from there. So we'll see you in the next recap. Thanks, guys.